Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Form and Function. Today, I want to talk about the GV Eclipse P100 mask respirator with the head piece here, which goes on the back of your head to help you kind of keep the respirator on. For a long time, as a woodworker, painter, all around DIYer, I was often skeptical about respirators just because they were not the most comfortable thing. And so I had the uh, mask that everybody had that, was Velcro, but it really wasn't a respirator. And I wore that throughout most of the pandemic and COVID, and it worked pretty well. The problem was when you get to doing things that are slightly more volatile and dangerous, especially to your lungs, you want a real respirator. And this one, after looking on the internet, watching a bunch of YouTube videos, and just really looking at what would probably be the most comfortable, is what I landed on. Now, they make one without this extra head covering, which just slides on the back of the head. They just have a simple strap that just goes straight across. But this one is great because it kind of cradles the back of your head and doesn't really move a lot. I've used this to do work in my attic, to run Ethernet cables with all the insulation up there. You don't want particles in your lungs if you don't have to have them there. I've used it to do paint, especially when I'm not outside painting something. I've used it for woodworking when I didn't have dust collection and my cyclone available to me, or just big things where I just don't want to go in and just breathe all that stuff in. The nice thing about this is everything is super simple, pretty easy to replace. You can see inside. I've used this a little bit, not a bunch, because I haven't had the need to use it a whole lot, which is great. But this rubber does get warm. Like any other respirator, this will get a little hot, but it's not to the point where it's unbearable. I think that the beautiful part about this is you can kind of, and I cracked it here. Don't know how I did that. I must have dropped it. But you can kind of take this piece off here, kind of latches out, and remove all of this to actually clean that. So as you can see, my filters are pretty clean, but you can replace the filters and also just all the components of this, which is really, really nice. The other nice thing about this is truly this. When you're using a respirator, you're gonna have, the bottom, of course, and the top. But what's really nice is you can get more coverage across the back of your head, so that this doesn't really move or move around a lot when you're actually doing a project. I think the most important thing is to know that you got coverage, that you got protection. You can clearly see the buildup here, so you don't have to wonder. That's another thing that I really like, what's being trapped and what's not being trapped there. With other respirators, this one does get hot, but it's super easy to pull up, pull down. These straps are super adjustable. It's a lot of stretch in this, which is really, really nice. And it just makes it really simple to grab and go. I've worn this with my headlamp. I've worn this with a underneath a hat, because when I was in the attic one day, it was very cold. But this is one of the respirators I actually go for. It's not super stifling. It is gonna stifle you a little bit because you're just breathing on yourself. Essentially, you're breathing that carbon dioxide back and forth, to your mouth. But that's not a big deal with this, and it's super modular. They also make one that has the kind of face piece built into this. So they make 3 levels. This is like level 2. They have one that kind of has the one that's built into the face piece is built into this, and it's all like one big unit, which is really cool as well. So I think they're a very reputable brand. I haven't had any issues with this. In fact, I've wanted to use my respirator when I need to, because it's easy to go get and grab and kind of throw on the back of my head without having to worry about it, being everywhere. And it's just simple and super easy to use. So If you are in the market for one, I would recommend this one because at the price point, I think I ended up paying, maybe I got this on Amazon on sale for, oh God, let me see, because I have my prices. Should have my prices right here. Yeah, I got this for like 50 bucks, which is, you know, you can get it cheaper online as well. This one just has the head back attachment piece, which is great. I think they make another version of this as well that is maybe slightly cheaper, but you know, for a respirator you're gonna use and save your lungs and save you from breathing and stuff you don't need to breathe. It's a great price. It's a effective and important piece of PPE. I didn't used to believe in these as much, and as I got older, I was like, I shouldn't really be breathing half this stuff. So, if you're in the market for one, I say definitely check this one out. And thank you for tuning in. Please like and subscribe, share with your friends. Thanks.